there, Retro Games fans. This is Andy C from Pieces of 8-Bit. So for those of you who watch my channel, you'll know that I am currently playing with the GameCube. It's sitting in my living room. And I have to say, 1 week in, it's been absolutely fantastic. I was going to review a different game this week, so as part of the Month With series, typically what I'll do is review games that I'm playing on the console that I've currently got under review, and this week is no exception. Like I said, I was going to be playing a different game. I was going to come and review Eternal Darkness, and there still may be time for that. There's a bit of a story behind that one, which is why I'm keen to have another look at it. But I started playing another game, which I have really enjoyed, and in fact, largely due to its short length, almost completed it again. So I really felt like I wanted to give that game a bit of a revisit and talk to you a little bit about it today. So on the channel, I'm going to do something a little bit different with my review. So normally what I do is I do a review, I talk a little bit about the game, and I play the game a little bit and do a bit of a voiceover for the gameplay footage that I've captured. And then I just talk a little bit about the game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a bit of a rating this time, and I'm going to break those ratings down into 3 scores. So it's the overall score, which I'll give at the very end, but I'm also going to give a replayability score and an engagement score. So one of those things of, is it worth going back and revisiting? I'm going to qualify that a little bit with a score and engagement as well. So if you go back and revisit it, how engaging is it? How long are you going to play it for? So I'm going to do that. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the end, when I do my wash up, but I'm going to get straight into the game, and I haven't even said what it is yet. So the game that I'm going to be playing today is Luigi's Mansion, which is a fantastic action-adventure game from 2001. It was a launch title on the GameCube, and it appeared in the absence of a Mario game. In fact, there was no launch Mario game on the GameCube, and this was Luigi's chance to have his own game and appear by himself without his brother for once in his very own game. He wins a mansion, which is kind of mysterious, and his brother goes missing, and the idea is that Luigi has to battle his way through the mansion and find Mario. The mansion is haunted, it's full of ghosts. I have a Poltergust 3000, which is like a vacuum cleaner, sort of Ghostbusters inspired thing where I have to vacuum up the ghosts. And there are bosses as we go, sort of mid-level bosses and end-of-level bosses, which I'll talk about as we go through the game. It was the 5th best-selling GameCube game, in fact, so it did very well. It sold 3.3 million copies. Introduced us to King Boo, who we later saw in other games. Most notably, we see him appear in things like Mario Kart. It was so good, it was so well received that there were two sequels to the game, and there was an arcade game as well, which came out in 2015, which I only played for the first time actually just a few weeks ago, where you got your sort of vacuum thing, which was really good fun actually. I really enjoyed that. Played that over in Worcester. So yeah, I think ultimately a really good fun game. So I'm going to dig into it and talk a little bit more about the game as we go, and talk about some of the mechanics and how it works, a bit about the graphics, all those kind of things. And then I'll come back at the end and tell you what I thought about it. So let's get straight stuck in with the gameplay. I'll see you on the other side. So here we go. One thing I would say, I'm running this on a Dolphin emulator just for capture, and as you know, for those of you who watch my channel, quite often when I'm doing game reviews, what I'll do is I'll get an emulator for that game and I'll run it on the system. So this is the Dolphin emulator. Dolphin emulator's quite resource hungry, so you'll struggle to run it on things like the Raspberry Pi, and you will notice the odd frame dropout as we're playing through the game. It's a little bit on the jerky side on my older computer here, but I was able to play the game nonetheless. Obviously, I've been playing this actually on the GameCube, so what you're seeing here is the first level of the game, and I'm just going to talk through a couple of the key points of the game here. On the GameCube itself, I have actually almost completed the game. I'm actually on the final boss, which is proving to be somewhat tricky. I sort of nearly threw my controller yesterday, so I decided to give it a break. I'll go back and have another look today. So here we are inside the mansion. You can see a sort of ghostly spirit there disappearing into that room. I've got a key, so when you first start you can't get in anywhere actually, so you go upstairs, try and get in, you get that key, So I'm just going to fetch that key now. Come on, Luigi, pick it up. He's having a look around. What is he doing? Just having a little look around. Come on, Luigi, pick up the key. What are you doing? Oh, yes, I suspect that probably judged on the fact that my my Docker bar popped up there. Probably I was lost a bit of focus on there. So proof if it were needed that I'm running this on an emulator. So we're going to go back upstairs to this first room. Yeah, we're just going to skip through here. So at this point, I've met Professor Egad, who's the little chap in the corner there, and this is a little tutorial thing that we've got going on here, where he's telling me how to capture the ghost. So what you got to basically do, the ghosts will appear. If they're very close to you, they will make Luigi jump. You can see he spends most of his time terrified in this game, especially when the lights are off. And you use the R button to switch your vacuum on, and when you've not got your vacuum on, your torch is on. So if you shine the light on the ghosts when they're too far away, the ghosts will disappear and then they reappear again. So it's a bit of a knack to it. Once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad, but to start with, it's a bit infuriating where you try and get the hang of it. You sort of flash, they disappear, and you catch them. You see there where we got that one, you sort of see their heart appear, and you sort of get the timing right, and then you can vacuum them up. In this particular instance, I managed to get two at the same time. Obviously, if the ghosts touch you or whatever, then they would capture you. So moved on from that, started in the game in what's called the wardrobe room now. So there's another one of the ghosts that you get. This one is particularly infuriating. So this one chucks banana skins out, and as he chucks banana skins out, if you slip on one, you lose health, and you slip over and the ghost disappears, and you have to sort of carry on capturing that person later on. You see here as well, just looking for things. There's loads of things to find. So there's gems, there's little gold bars, money, like cash money, gold coins, all sorts of things like that. And then usually once you've completed a room, what will happen then is a chest will appear, and quite often in that chest is a key, and then that key will open another door. Worth sort of vacuuming and everything. You see here, look, I've got a bit of health. Something which can be a little bit hard and tricky to find, actually. Yeah, just keep a good eye out for that. Spend a lot of time walking down these dark corridors. You'll see all sorts of things in here. Bats and mice and all sorts of random ghosts that make you jump and pop out. Once you've completed a section, the lights will come on, and then you won't have any of that in there. It is quite a relief to get that to occur. So we're going to have a look around here. We're just having a bit of a look around at the moment. Some of these doors will be fake doors. So it's really important to look on your map all the time before you go into a particular room. Otherwise you can sort of get slammed against the wall and it costs you health. So what I'm doing here is one of the first sort of what they call portrait ghosts, which is sort of essentially like a mid-level boss, I suppose. You get a few of these per level. They get increasingly more difficult. Some are easy to catch, especially in this early stage. They just have more health than the ordinary ghosts that you spot as you go around. But they're sort of unique ghosts. This one here, he's pretty harmless. He will throw some books at you to start with, as you saw there. There's some cash there that I found. But for the most part, he's pretty easy to catch. You'll see this in a minute. So basically, every ghost will have a weakness, which will expose them. This one in particular, his weakness is when he yawns. That helps me to spot him. So if I'm nice and close to him like that, he yawns, there we go, and I'm able to catch him. So you see these sort of little pearls that come out and all sorts of various things that pop out. And you'll see that there as well. There's sort of a little black and pink mushroom that pops out. If you step on that or near it when it sort of blows up, it will make you go small, which is kind of irritating. Doesn't really affect your health. It just means that you have to wait for a bit before you can carry on capturing the ghost. So there we go. The lights have come on now. And the chest has appeared, and I've caught the ghost. Let's see what we've got in here. So we've got a key in here. So this first stage, get a couple of portrait ghosts quite early on. So I'm just going to skip across now. Show me which room is open. So let's have a look, and I'll skip to sort of towards the end of me capturing the next portal ghost. There we go. So this lady, she's sort of doing her hair in the mirror, and you have to open the curtains and it blows her hair all around and she gets mad, and that's her weakness. That's how you capture her. Some of them are quite obscure. So we skipped across to the baby room now, and this is actually an end of level boss, as you'll see in a minute. So same sort of thing again. We go in here, and what I've got to do is just capture this ball. The baby basically wants to play with me. It spins around. I'm having a bit of a hard time here with my getting this ball. There we go. This is a bit of a thing, actually, sort of picking things up with your vacuum and then whacking them at the ghosts. So I've done that, and yeah, it's crossed now. So we're going to go to the end of level already. It seems quick. I've cut quite a bit out of this as well. So end of levels tend to look like this, sort of big arena areas, not unusual for Nintendo games. So yeah, so Luigi's going to try and capture the baby now. It's going to sort of throw a bunch of stuff at us and bounce around. Whilst it's doing that, I mean, one of the things that I've really been impressed with actually coming back and revisiting this game is just how vibrant and colourful it is and how good the sound is on it. Played this with my youngest son. He's been helping me to get through it, and he's really impressed by how it looks. And this is a 24-year-old game as I'm writing this. I managed to get hit by a rocking horse there. It still looks really good, and it's really, really playable. It's very responsive. The 3D side of it is really, really good. So he's going to chuck some balls now. Some of them are real. One of them is fake. So I'm going to try and do the same thing I did at the start. So there we go. That's the one there. Going to vacuum that up and fire that at him, and that reveals him. And I should just be able to catch the baby then. I think it's a him, or it might be her actually. I can't remember. So yeah, so really good, and I love the playability of it. It's a very, very stylish looking game actually, albeit quite a short one. It is quite a short game. If you know what you're doing, you can get through the game quite quickly. So here's the second sequence now. So the baby's going to bounce around for a little while, and then he's going to go back to that start position, and he's going to chuck a load more rocking horses at me. And so yeah, let me just skipped over there to the end of the sequence so I don't bore you with all of it. And there we go. And that is the end of the first stage. First stage is pretty quick, to be honest with you. Although I cut a lot of it out, you basically catch 3 portrait ghosts and you're sort of done. And you'll get, at the end of the stage, here we go, one of these special colourful keys. And that's the same all the way through the game. There are 4 stages in the game. Essentially, which you play through. You'll go all around the house, backwards and forwards, all over the place. You'll get to know the house quite well. And at the end of each stage, you'll come back here. And what happens here is Luigi will put his vacuum into this thing here, and the ghosts will be turned back into their portraits, which we're going to see in a second. It's a crazy concept. It's quite mad when you actually explain what the game is. It's quite sort of random, really. But yeah, you see the ghosts here being turned back into their portraits. It was a bit of frame drop out there, which I mentioned before. That was absolutely down to the Dolphin emulator. So there's the baby. Then we've got the guy in the book room in the library, and then the lady with her nice locks. So that's it. Just 3 for this level. And there we go. That is the end of stage 1. So what I want to do now is just show you one of the other aspects of the game as well. The game pretty much carries on in this vein, same sort of concept each time, all the way through each of the 4 stages. At the end, you're going to meet King Boo, and he dresses up essentially, or masquerades as a giant Bowser that you have to defeat, and that last level is incredibly difficult. So I spend some more time walking around in the dark corridors here. Yeah, see what I mean? Ghosts that pop out, roll bowling balls at you, or drop bombs on you, all sorts of things like that. Some more ghosts here. These ones are infuriating. So these ghosts will grab onto you, and in this particular instance here, they're not actually affecting my health, but normally when they grab onto you later on in the game, they will actually drain your health. And they're a nuisance, because if you get a couple like this, so you'll be trying to capture one ghost and then another one will capture onto you. It's actually, you tend to sort of panic, and then you're flashing your light all over the place, and then they get you, and your health gets affected really quick, especially if there's more than, like I said, more than 1 or 2 ghosts in the same room at the same time. They are a nuisance. You can see how irritating it is. It took me a little while to get this room complete, and these ones didn't even hurt me. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Come on, Luigi. Let's do it. Oh, I can't get the torch out in time. Come on. Yes. There's one. Once you got one, it's not too bad actually in here, because then I think there's only the 2. So yes, we skipped that bit. Now we're going to skip to another mid-level boss. So yeah, we've got some shy guys in this room. They sort of dance around with these masks on, which you have to vacuum off their faces. And then you can actually capture them. So yeah, got a couple at the same time here. There's quite a few in this room. And then once you vacuum those up, you're in a good position to actually start picking up the the portrait ghost. That's what I was looking for. Yes, here we go. Shy guys are quite cute, aren't they, really? I think they look quite cool. There we go. So, yep, skip forward to this bit, and yeah, they sort of make a noise when they're dancing, and you capture the two of them together. Seems quite sad, really. They were just sort of minding their own business, dancing around. There are times when you capture ghosts. There's one ghost in particular that you capture later on, and I won't spoil it too much, where once she's helped you out quite a bit, she actually asks you to capture her, which is quite bizarre. And put her back in the portrait. So there we go. And this is really the last bit of the game that I wanted to show you. So we're in this room. After we capture those portrait ghosts, we come through to another room that's adjacent. And you'll see in a minute. That's me just checking there's nothing else for me to find in here. In the mirror there's a button, look. In the background, so I'm going to go press that button. In a minute. Right, come on, Luigi. You've seen it. There it is. There we go. This reveals a secret section. There are times in the game when you'll find that, when there are bits you think, what do I do now? So you have to be, you really do need to kind of look around and have a look at everything, investigate everything, check everything, because yeah, quite often it's not obvious what you've got to do. So yeah, this took me a few moments to work this out the first time I played through this on the Cube. I'm like, what do I do now? There's obviously got to be something in here. I think that's usually the key. There's almost always something in a room that you need to do. So here we go. We have released the boos, of which there are 50. Here they go, all flying out into the mansion. And there's King Boo. There we go. I almost feel like it would have been a lot easier if I hadn't let him out, but unfortunately there's not a lot you can do about it. You'll see now, so I'll just skip forward slightly, you'll see on the bottom right hand corner there on my Game Boy Horror, that little sort of flashing light, and that tells me where the boos are hiding. Sometimes they're a decoy. In this particular instance it's not. This is a nice easy one to get you started with, just 30 health, but some of them are as much as 300. And as you get further into the game, they get trickier and trickier to catch. They actually end up they'll disappear out of the room. They're very hard to lock onto, so they can be a real nuisance. And there are 50 to find. Typically when you complete a room, you will find one. That's a nice feature as well. When you do capture one, you are able to save at that point as well. So let's have a look. Let's capture this one here as well. Another nice easy one at the start. Very, very straightforward to capture. Nearly disappeared into the next room there. They go through the wall into the next room. There we go then. So that is Luigi's Mansion. Let's go back and I'll talk a little bit about what I thought. Okay, so there you go. That was Luigi's Mansion from 2001. What did you think? Give you a bit of the gameplay demo there of how that works. Like I said, managed to play through the game again, and yeah, I'm pretty much close to the end of that. And I'd be surprised if I played it for more than maybe 2-3 hours, perhaps a little, maybe a little longer, but not all that long. And that was actually one of the criticisms is that it is quite a short game. But it is good fun. It got really good praise. It looks fantastic. I think it still looks really, really good now. I think part of that is also down to the way Nintendo design their games. They are very stylized, and so they don't sort of date as much as sort of photorealistic games, things that you might have seen on the PlayStation 2, like Grand Theft Auto 3, for instance, looks quite dated now, given the sort of style of the game, although still an amazing, awesome game, of course. But I think these sorts of games really do stand the test of time, and Nintendo just sort of improve the graphics a little bit, really, just update it, and it's a bit sharper and a bit neater, but ultimately they still look really, really good. So from that point of view, I think, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed going back and playing it. It is frustrating to play at points. It's quite a different sort of game, really. There's not there's not any other Nintendo games that I can think that are quite like it. So it's quite unique in that way. I think it's lovely that Luigi has his own game. It's quite sweet that he kind of goes around and you can press the button and he's very scarily, you know, in a scared voice says, "Oh, Mario." So, you know, it's a very sweet game. You know, obviously it's Nintendo. It's not too scary really, despite the ghosts, although it does make you jump. There will be times when you're kind of walking around a corridor and a load of ghosts will appear without unexpected. They will make you jump, especially if you've got the volume turned up. Nice thing about the GameCube was it came with ProLogic 2, Dolby ProLogic 2 when it came out, which was better than what most other consoles were able to provide out of the box. I think PlayStation 2 did 5.1, but ProLogic 2 was a bit more accessible to people at the time, so it had really good sound as well. So if you had your sound cranked up and you got a good sound system back then, it did scare you, it did make you jump. So. Yeah, I enjoyed playing it. Played through all the 4 areas, got to know the house pretty well, yeah, lots of things to find, lots of little Easter eggs here and there to discover, and overall a very enjoyable game. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I was going to do some scoring, so I'm going to do some out of 5 scoring, just to give you an idea really of just to kind of quantify how I felt about it. So. From an engagement score, so the engagement score, which is the first one out of 5, is if you pick this game up again, how likely is it you're going to continue playing it all the way through? Well, I've already said that from an engagement point of view, this game is fantastic. I've played it all the way through, practically to the end already. By the time this video has gone out, I'll have probably finished it. So engagement has to be a 5. A lot of games that you play, a lot of older games, I really enjoy revisiting them and they get a good replayability score. But from an engagement point of view, you play them for sort of 10-15 minutes and then you know what, you go, okay, that itch is now scratched. I'm done with it. But this is not an example of one of those. This is a game that is absolutely a 5 out of 5 for engagement. I think if you go back and play this again, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's really good. Replayability score, well, I think also that is going to be pretty high because it is something that you can come back and play over and over again. So that's what the replayability score is. How likely is it you're going to come back and play this again? I think it's very, very likely. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 for replayability. There's a good chance I'll come back and play this again. It looks as though there's going to be a GameCube section on the Nintendo Switch. I did have a look at it. It seems to be there, but you can't download it yet. And that's got Luigi's Mansion on it. So there's a very real chance I might play this again on the Nintendo Switch. But the reason I haven't given it a 5 is because it's not definite. I've enjoyed playing it again. The end of game boss is incredibly frustrating. So if there was anything that would put me off playing again, it might be that I just don't think I want the stress of having to deal with that. So not quite a 5, but almost a perfect score. If maybe a 4.5, but certainly a 4 is what I'm going to go for on replayability. Overall score. So this is the overall score. What do I think of the game overall? You know, like with sort of thinking about it in terms of when it was. What it was like back in the day of playing it as I remember it, and obviously with all of the other factors considered. Again, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. It is an exceptionally good game. I definitely recommend going to play it again. And if you've never played it before, go play it. It's a really good game. It's not one of those games where I say to people, look, okay, you played it before, go have another look at it, but if you've never played it before, just leave it. This is a game that you should definitely go check out. It's from a great I think this generation of consoles was fantastic. I think we had a real step up in the quality of the games that we started seeing. The GameCube didn't do as well as I really think that it should have done. It's a fantastic console, and I will obviously be talking more about that over the next few weeks. But this is one of the games that really defined that console. Is one of the games I always think of when I think of the GameCube, Luigi's Mansion. So my overall score is a 4 out of 5. It's not a perfect game. There are some issues with some of the mechanics in the game, just a little bit annoying. It can be a little bit repetitive at times, and like I said, that end of game boss is infuriating, and I'm never a big fan of when you've gone to the effort of completing a game and you've done all of the things and you've done the kind of hard end of level bosses, and then you have a disproportionately difficult boss at the very end of the game. That kind of irritates me a bit, because I think, well, I've come 95% of the way and I can't get that extra 5% without a lot of replay. And one of the biggest annoyances of it is the fact that when you die, or when you lose, you have to go back to the sort of start, back to the foyer area, and then work your way back in. It can take as much as 5 minutes to get through all the cutscenes, get all your way back through it, restart the level, more cutscenes before you start, and you can be dead within 2 minutes. so it's quite annoying. So it's not a perfect score, but it is a very, very high score. So definitely recommend going to play Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube. And if you've got it, you can go play it on the Switch once the GameCube, I guess it's an emulator, comes out on the Switch on Nintendo Online. You can have a look at it on there. And obviously I mentioned as well, if you've got the game, you don't have a working GameCube, you can go and have a look at it on Dolphin, which is a really, really good emulator for the GameCube and for the Wii as well. And oh, that's the other thing, you can also play it on the Nintendo Wii. So if you've got the disc, or you want to go find the disc and you own a Nintendo Wii, if you own one of the earlier generation ones, you can plug a GameCube controller in the top and a GameCube memory card, and you can play old GameCube games as well. So there you go. That was Luigi's Mansion. So now next, a few things coming up. Obviously, we'll be getting through this month and continuing to look at some more GameCube classics. I do want to have a look at Eternal Darkness. I haven't decided whether I'm going to absolutely do a video on that. Maybe I should now. I've mentioned it. So we're going to be having a look at that, and obviously I'll be reviewing the GameCube at the end of the month. So that is coming up. But yeah, loving it, loving the GameCube, absolutely loving it. I love seeing it back in the living room. It just looks like it's always belonged there, so that's great fun too. Obviously for some of you, not me sadly, but for some of you, obviously enjoy picking up. I hope, well, by the time this video goes out, some of you will already own a Nintendo Switch 2, so I hope you enjoy that. It is an exciting time when a new console comes out, even though mostly I look at retro things. I am super excited for the Nintendo Switch 2 to come out. But yeah, I will get one at some point, but just not yet. Got some other things I want to buy first. What else? Yeah, also playing Wind Waker. That's another game that I might also have another look at some point. So have that on the go as well. That's a fantastic one. And that will also be on the... Oh no, actually, it's not Luigi's Mansion that's on the GameCube emulator on the Switch. It's Wind Waker that will be coming. So looking forward to playing Wind Waker on the Switch. That's going to be fantastic. I'm sure Luigi's Mansion will follow shortly as well. There we go then. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that review. Please do hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy these videos. Hopefully my scoring system doesn't upset you too much. Obviously these are my opinions, and you know, if you've got any thoughts yourself on this game or any other GameCube games that you remember, please do let me know in the comments. But obviously, yes, please do hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy watching the channel. It means so much. I've got about 20 subscribers to go to get to 500, which is so awesome. So thank you all for your support on that. That just leaves me to say, yeah, please do all take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.